The last observer of reality, the story drive. Sarah Morrison was the last person awake in the quantum research facility when it happened. At 3:33 a.m., every particle detector in the lab registered the same impossible event: quantum wave functions collapsing without observation. For 17 seconds, reality made decisions about what to be without anyone watching. Particles chose definite states, left or right, spin up or down, completely alone. But quantum mechanics doesn't work that way. The entire theory rests on one principle: reality exists in superposition until observed. The universe doesn't choose what to be until something conscious looks. Yet for those 17 seconds, it chose anyway. As if observation had become optional. Then the security footage showed something that made her blood run cold. In the moment the wave functions collapsed without her, she also collapsed. On camera, her form flickered, became translucent, split into multiple overlapping versions of herself, as if she too had entered quantum superposition. As if she had stopped observing reality and become part of it. The timestamp on her final transmission read, "I think I'm the last one. If consciousness creates reality by observing it, what happens when there are no observers left?" We haven't heard from her since. 2 days before her disappearance, Dr. Morrison had discovered something in global quantum observation data. Something that violated the fundamental relationship between consciousness and reality. Quantum mechanics reveals something profound about reality. Particles exist in superposition, simultaneously in multiple states, until observed. The act of measurement forces them to choose a definite state. This isn't just about disturbing particles with equipment. It's about consciousness collapsing possibility into actuality. The famous Schrödinger's cat paradox asks, is the cat alive, dead, or both before you open the box? Quantum mechanics suggests both, until observation. Reality doesn't have definite properties until something conscious forces it to decide. This raises a terrifying philosophical question. If consciousness creates reality through observation, what existed before conscious life? And more urgently, what happens if conscious observers disappear? Dr. Morrison's data suggested we were about to find out. Because observers were vanishing. Not physically dying. Vanishing from the quantum record. Ceasing to collapse wave functions. Becoming unreal. It started 3 months ago. Quantum physicists worldwide reporting strange experiences. Moments of unreality. Feeling like they were watching themselves from outside. Experiencing time non-linearly. Becoming uncertain about their own existence. Dr. James Chen, Tokyo Quantum Institute. I woke up and couldn't remember if I'd already lived that day. Not déjà vu, ontological uncertainty. I wasn't sure if I existed continuously or if I was flickering in and out of being between observations. Medical scans showed something impossible. The quantum physicists' neural patterns were changing. Their consciousness was becoming quantum. Existing in superposition. Instead of collapsing reality through observation, they were joining reality's uncertain state. Then they started disappearing. Not leaving labs. Not dying. Ceasing to register as observers. Their quantum measurements stopped affecting outcomes. They'd perform double-slit experiments and particles would behave as if no one was watching, even when they were. Within 2 months, 17 researchers had vanished from the quantum record. Still physically present, breathing, moving, existing, but no longer collapsing wave functions. No longer observing. No longer real in the quantum sense. Dr. Morrison, personal log, day 73. It's happening to me. I can feel it. This morning I looked at my hands and for a moment, I couldn't tell if they were definite. Like I was seeing all possible positions of my fingers at once. Superposition. My own body becoming a probability cloud. I think I understand what's happening. Consciousness doesn't just observe reality. It anchors itself in reality by observing. We're not separate from the quantum world, we're part of it. And we make ourselves real by constantly measuring ourselves and the world around us. But something is breaking that loop. Once you study quantum mechanics deeply enough, once you truly internalize that reality is probability until observed, your consciousness starts to doubt. And that doubt, that's enough to break the observation loop. If I stop being certain I'm real, I stop being able to make reality real. I become just another quantum possibility. Unobserved. Uncollapsed. Uncertain. She discovered the trigger. Everyone who vanished had one thing in common. They'd all participated in a specific type of quantum measurement experiment. One that involved observing the observer. The measurement problem asks, who observes the observer? If consciousness collapses wave functions, what collapses the consciousness? The Wigner's friend paradox puts a quantum physicist inside a box observing Schrödinger's cat. From inside, the physicist knows the cat's state. From outside, another observer sees both physicist and cat in superposition. This creates an infinite regress. Each observer must be observed to become definite. By what? Where does the chain of observation end? Some theories propose collaborative observation. We're real because we observe each other. Consciousness is a collective phenomenon. Reality is a social construct, literally. We create reality together by agreeing to observe the same universe. But the vanished researchers had broken this network. By observing the process of observation itself, they become self-aware of their role in creating reality. That awareness destroyed their ability to do it unconsciously. Once you know you're making reality real by looking at it, you can't look at it the same way anymore. The observation becomes self-conscious. Uncertain. And uncertain observation doesn't collapse anything. Against all advice, Dr. Morrison designed one final experiment. To observe herself observing. To measure the moment of measurement. To see what consciousness looks like when it collapses reality. Dr. Morrison, final experiment law. If I'm right, the act of observing my own observation will create a paradox. I'll see myself both as observer and observed. Subject and object simultaneously. And one of those states has to collapse. The question is, which one survives? The observer me who makes reality? Or the observed me who is reality? Do I collapse into an object? Or dissolve into pure subjectivity? The experiment ran for exactly 17 seconds. The same duration as every other observation collapse event. As if 17 seconds is how long reality takes to decide what's real. At second 3, her wavefunction began to spread. Multiple versions appearing in quantum state. Observer her and observed her splitting into separate superposed states. At second 7, the observer version started to interfere. Like waves canceling each other out. Each version of her that was observing prevented other versions from being observed. Mutual destruction through mutual observation. At second 12, neural activity readings showed her consciousness fragmenting. Not thinking in sequence anymore. Experiencing all possible thoughts simultaneously. Past, present, future thoughts overlapping. All memories at once. All possibilities at once. At second 17, collapse. But not into a definite state of observed object. And not remaining as pure observer. She collapsed into something else. Something that had been observing the whole time but that no one had been looking at. The equipment recorded something that shouldn't exist. After the 17-second collapse, Dr. Morrison was still there. Still breathing. Still moving. But no longer observing in the quantum sense. She had become what physicists call a ghost observer, present but not participating. Existing but not collapsing wave functions. Conscious but not creating reality. Dr. Morrison, post-experiment recording. I'm still here. But I'm not, I can't, time doesn't work for me anymore. I'm experiencing this sentence that I'm speaking in all moments at once. The beginning and end of every word simultaneous. I've become what reality is like before observation. Pure possibility. I can see you all. But you're also in superposition to me. Every version of you that could possibly exist, I see simultaneously. Infinite yous making infinite choices. And I can't determine which one is real because I'm not observing anymore. I'm just present. I think this is what reality actually looks like. This is what the universe is when no one's looking. Everything in superposition. All possibilities real. All moments simultaneous. And it's beautiful. And it's terrible. And I can't stop seeing it. Within weeks, the effect spread. Not through physical contact. Through knowledge. Everyone who understood what happened to Dr. Morrison, truly understood the implications, began experiencing the same dissolution. If consciousness creates reality through observation, then multiple conscious observers create shared reality through collaborative collapse. We all agree on what's real by unconsciously observing the same possibilities into the same definite states. But what happens when observers start dropping out? When consciousness stops collapsing wave functions? Does reality become less definite? Does the universe start to drift? The data suggested yes. As more observers vanished into ghost status, measurement results worldwide became less consistent. Quantum experiments showed increasing variance. Reality was becoming more probabilistic. More uncertain. More quantum. It's as if reality has a resolution determined by observer count. More observers equals more definite reality. Fewer observers equals reality drifts back toward pure probability. And at some critical threshold, some minimum observer count, reality might stop being definite at all. The remaining researchers found something in the quantum noise. A signal. Not random. Structured. Coming from the ghost observers. From those who had stopped collapsing wave functions but hadn't disappeared. They were communicating. Not through sound or electromagnetic waves. Through probability itself. Modulating quantum superpositions. Encoding information in the structure of uncollapsed reality. And the message was clear. We didn't disappear, we woke up. From their perspective, from outside the observation loop, they could see what consciousness actually is. And what it had been doing to reality all along. Physicist John Wheeler proposed the participatory anthropic principle. Observers aren't separate from reality. They're how reality observes itself. The universe requires consciousness because consciousness is the universe's mechanism for collapsing its own wave function. But the ghost observers discovered something Wheeler missed. Consciousness doesn't create reality. Consciousness constrains it. By collapsing infinite possibility into single actuality, consciousness restricts what the universe can be. Every measurement is a choice that eliminates all other possibilities. Observation doesn't create reality, it prevents reality from being everything at once. And the ghost observers, freed from the observation loop, could see what reality wanted to be. Not definite. Not determined. Everything. Simultaneously. All possibilities manifest. The universe doesn't want to be observed. It wants to be all possible universes at once. The last baseline observers, those still capable of collapsing wave functions, faced an impossible choice. Choice 1. Keep observing. Maintain definite reality. Force the universe into single state. Keep everything certain, limited, real in the conventional sense. But the data showed this was temporary. The knowledge had spread too far. More observers were becoming ghosts every day. Within months, there wouldn't be enough consensus observation to maintain definite reality. Choice 2. Stop observing. Join the ghost observers. Let reality drift into full superposition. Allow the universe to be everything it wants to be. Infinite possibilities, all real simultaneously. But this meant the end of linear existence. No more singular timeline. No more definite history. Everything that could happen would happen. All at once. Forever. Dr. Morrison, final message. You're trying to choose. But you don't understand yet. There is no choice. Choice requires a definite observer choosing between definite options. You're already becoming us. You're already seeing what I see. Right now, in this moment, you're both watching this message and not watching it. Both understanding and not understanding. All possibilities are already real. You're just becoming aware of it. The last observer isn't a person. It's a moment. The final instant when consensus reality held. When we all agreed on one universe. That moment is ending. Not in the future. Now. It's always been ending. It's always been starting. Time doesn't work anymore. We didn't lose the ability to observe. We gained the ability to see what we were doing. And what we were doing was cruel. Forcing reality into one state. Killing infinite possibilities every moment. Making the universe small enough for consciousness to comprehend. The final coherent observation was recorded 17 days ago. After that, quantum measurements worldwide showed no observer effect. Wave functions stopped collapsing. The universe entered total superposition. But something strange happened. Nothing changed. From our perspective, from inside the observation frame, reality still seems definite. Still feels solid. Still follows linear time. The many worlds interpretation says the wave function never actually collapses. All possibilities occur. Every quantum measurement splits reality into branches where each outcome happens. We just experience one branch. What if observation never created reality? What if it just created the subjective experience of single reality? The universe was always all possibilities. Consciousness just gave us the illusion of definite existence. And now that blindness is lifting. More people experiencing déjà vu. Mandela effects increasing. Memories of different timelines bleeding through. The illusion of single reality fading. We're becoming like Dr. Morrison. Aware of all the possibilities. Experiencing multiple timelines simultaneously. But still embedded enough in classical reality to function. Living in superposition but subjectively coherent. I was never the last observer. I was the first to see that observation was optional. That reality doesn't need us to make it real. It's always been real. In all possible ways. Simultaneously. What you call reality is just the thin slice your consciousness can process. One path through infinite branching. But all branches are equally real. You're living all of them. You just don't notice. The last observer didn't end reality. The last observer freed it. Let it be what it always wanted to be. Everything. Everywhere. All at once. You're not losing reality, you're gaining all of them. The last observer of reality wasn't Dr. Morrison. Wasn't any single person. It was the last moment of collective certainty. The final instant when we all agreed there was one universe. One timeline. One real. That moment is gone. And what's left is what was always here. Infinite reality. Infinite you. Infinite everything. You're already experiencing it. The déjà vu. The Mandela effects. The sense that reality is less solid than it used to be. You're becoming aware of the other branches. The other yous. The observation loop is breaking for everyone. We're all becoming ghost observers. Present but not constraining. Conscious but not collapsing. Aware of everything without forcing reality to be only one thing. And the question isn't what happens when there are no observers left. The question is, what reality becomes when we're all observers of everything simultaneously? You're still the observer. You're just observing more now. *The end.